So as a virtual assistant, one of the bigger obstacles that you might have to get over is pricing, and specifically when it comes to your rate versus what someone might be able to pay an employee that is working in their office for them. Today, I am going to break down the benefits of hiring a virtual assistant over a full-time office employee. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time you're joining me, my name is Lisa Baldwin. I have owned my own virtual assistant business since August of 2018, and my goal is to help you either launch or grow your very own virtual assistant business. So I encourage you to subscribe and ring the bell so you can be notified every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central Time when I drop a new video for you. So today what I want to talk about is a challenge that I know I had when I started my VA business. And that was feeling comfortable charging what I did when I knew that business owners could hire someone at a lower hourly rate. And the breakdown that I have for you today, I think if you've never sat down and actually run the numbers before, if you're watching this as a business owner looking to hire a VA or you are a virtual assistant, I think this is going to be eye-opening for both of you, for both types of people, because it's something even when I was doing research on this topic was actually really surprised when I did the math. So today we are going to talk about the benefits of hiring a virtual assistant as opposed to a full-time employee. Now, I realize that sometimes you need a full-time employee in your office. A virtual assistant is just that. It's virtual, right? They're not physically there in the office. You are not there physically providing administrative services, right? You're doing it remotely. You might be in a completely different part of the country than your client. So the first thing you need to realize is that there is a place for a full-time employee that is physically there at the location, and there is a place for a virtual assistant. I'm going to talk today about the expenses that you don't incur with a virtual assistant that you do incur with a full-time employee, in keeping in mind that yes, I know you're probably paying the virtual assistant a higher hourly rate, but are you really taking into consideration the hidden costs associated with having a full-time employee there on staff? So the first thing is taxes. A virtual assistant is a 1099 contract hire. They are not actually an employee, right? So a virtual assistant is responsible for paying their own taxes. So anyone that hires you is not responsible to pay employment taxes for you. So that is an expense that is coming off of the business owner's plate and is the responsibility of the virtual assistant to pay their own taxes. The second thing that a business owner does not have to pay for is they do not have to pay for the virtual assistant's office space. They do not have to rent a space. They do not have to provide a computer, right? They don't have to provide the office equipment. They don't have to provide a desk. They don't have to provide a chair. In some cases, they don't have to provide a phone. You don't have to provide things as simple as paper clips. You don't have to provide a printer or printer ink or paper or any of that. You don't have those expenses when you hire a virtual assistant. The next thing is business owners that hire virtual assistants don't have to pay their benefits. They don't have to pay for vacation time. They don't have to pay for sick leave. They don't have to pay work comp benefits. They don't have to pay any of that. The next, and one of the biggest that people probably don't think of, is like you don't have the water cooler time. I worked in the marketplace for 19 years before I started my virtual assistant business. And we all know what water cooler time is. You get like talking to your friends, your work friends in the break room or like out in the parking lot, or you just kind of meet each other like passing. It even like happens in the bathroom. Like it's this wasted time where nothing is getting accomplished. You're just having like meaningless chit chat. With a virtual assistant, you don't have meaningless chit chat. You don't have that time where I have to be here from 8 to 5 anyway. So if I'm chatting it up with my friends, like you're not paying for that. You're not paying for unproductive time. And then going back to my point, like I said before, if you're paying, or if a business owner is paying an employee from 8 to 5, you're paying them whether they're doing work or not. I mean, in all honesty, you're sometimes paying them to not do anything. You're sometimes paying them to troll Facebook. You're sometimes paying them to text their friends. Whether you like it or not, that's the reality of the situation. Another advantage to hiring a virtual assistant over a full-time employee is a lot of times with an employee, you have to train them. Where when you hire a virtual assistant, you're most likely hiring them for a specific skill set that they already possess. So an example I can think of right offhand is you may hire an employee and one of their tasks is to set up an email marketing campaign for you. So they may have never done that before. They may have no idea how to do that. You may need to train them on how you want it done. Where a lot of times a virtual assistant has set up like a ton of email marketing campaigns. They already know how to do it. You just need to get them the content and they can do the rest. So you're hiring a lot of times a virtual assistant that has a specific skill set that does not require you to invest the time necessary to teach them that specific skill. And another thing that can be different when hiring a virtual assistant is the success of a virtual assistant's business depends upon the success of your business. So does your employee necessarily care if your business succeeds? At the end of the day, yeah, they should, because their paycheck really depends upon it. But if you're a business owner and you're watching this, or you're a virtual assistant thinking of how to pitch yourself, how to sell yourself, keep this in mind. Does an employee care if your business succeeds or fails? As a virtual assistant, if my clients' businesses fail, my business fails as well. So with a virtual assistant, what you're getting is you are getting a partnership. It's two businesses that are coming together. It's not an employee-employer relationship because, and I'm not saying this about all employees, but a lot of times employees just want to take, right? They want to take. You're never paying them enough. You're not giving them enough vacation time. Their benefits could be better. You're not getting that with a virtual assistant. So you might say, okay, Lisa, really, what is this costing me? Because I can hire an employee and pay them $20 an hour. I'm picking these numbers for the sake of easy math. I can hire an employee and I can pay them $20 an hour, or I can hire a virtual assistant and pay them $35, and that's $15 more per hour. I have actually put something together, and if you're a business owner looking to hire a virtual assistant, or you are a virtual assistant, this resource is going to be helpful to both of you. I'm going to put a link to it in the description below, but it compares just that. It compares a full-time employee at $20 per hour to a virtual assistant at $35 an hour for 40 hours per month. Now, you might say, well, Lisa, there's a big time difference there, and you're exactly right. But this goes back to a comment I made earlier in the video where a virtual assistant you're hiring them for a specific skill, it's not going to take a virtual assistant nearly the amount of time to complete a task as it is going to take your traditional employee. Because again, if you have a full-time employee, you're paying them from 8 to 5, whether they're producing or not. With a virtual assistant, you are only paying them for the time they are producing. And not only are they producing for you as the business owner, but they're producing for other business owners, right? The more work they do, the more money they make. So they're gonna want to be able to do your task, do it well, but then move on to the next task for someone else. So you're not, the biggest misconception, or one of the biggest misconceptions that I see when I'm talking to potential clients is they always think it's going to take a virtual assistant longer to do a task than it actually is. And that's because so often they are comparing the work that a virtual assistant is going to do to an employee in the office. And that's there's nothing wrong with that. That's just what a lot of times business owners are used to, right? They're used to having their employee there from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and they're thinking, oh my gosh, this is gonna take this much time and it's gonna cost me this much money. And in reality, when you hire someone with a specialized skill set to do a specific task for you, it does not take nearly as long. So again, the link where you can get that resource, again, it's going to be helpful for business owners or virtual assistants. The link to that I'm going to put down in the description below. Hiring a virtual assistant is going to save you time, and in the end, it's going to save you money. Even if at first glance you see $20 an hour here and you see $35 an hour here, and you're like, there's no way that's going to save me money. I can guarantee it's going to save you money, and in that resource, I'm going to show you how it can potentially honestly save you $60,000 a year to hire a virtual assistant at $35 an hour versus an employee at $20. And I was surprised. I was surprised when I did the math. It honestly shocked me. So again, the link to that resource in the description below. If you found this video helpful, please like. I love any feedback I can get. I've said this before, if you didn't like the video, hit dislike twice. And if there was like something that you hadn't considered before, once you get that downloadable resource, if you maybe have something to add to it, please leave it in the comments below. And then again, if you haven't already, I encourage you to subscribe and ring the bell. I am here every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central Time with a new video to help you grow or launch your virtual assistant business. Or being a virtual assistant is not for you, there's probably some business tidbit that you might pick up along the way. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.